Sam Dockerty calls time on a career marked by resilience and courage. The veteran Blue joins us live.
4 more years for Marcus Bontempelli. The wait for the Bulldogs captain's signature ends after a historic night of celebration.
And the dissent debate reignites. Razor recounts how he got here, and we'll ask the players what they expect now.
We've talked about is step into it, embrace all of it.
Get in the room and fix it.
It's unedifying for a senior coach to do that.
We're on the side of caution with the brain. Take the man off.
They played the best footy I've ever seen at the start of the season, and if you'd said Brisbane lift the cup, I would have said, of course they do.
It's the stuff that legends are made of.
What is holding the ball? I don't think I could answer it clearly right now.
I could do something wrong, and I need to go, and the board sacks me.
The fans love it, and with no fans, no 360, right?
Late July and retirements come into focus, Gaz. Did you do the address in front of the team?
Yep, it's not one you look forward to, Gerard. And doesn't matter how hard or stoic you might be, the little lump in the throat comes, and I know we're going to talk to Sam in a moment. And it's a tough one, but...
Did you get through everything you wanted to say?
I did, and then I walked straight out the door and straight to the pub. That was in the middle of the year, because you can't stay around, because it's a very, very emotional time. We'll talk to Sam about it. We're about to see some real emotion.
Yes. Toby Greene, Travis Boak are our players on duty. Sam Dockerty, who shared a lot of his journey with us, and Ray Chamberlain, so Razor's edge on the umpiring issues of the day, which are pretty hot. Then Lauren Wood will lead us through the latest news in the midweek tackle. Corbin Middlemas and John Ralph on duty. Tomorrow night, our favourite pairing, John Longmire and Adam Simpson. Simon Goodwin is with us. We'll have the teams for Hawthorn and Carlton. Now, John has done, he's done his own immersion. They went to the umpires a couple of weeks ago. Bit of cross-pollination with the NRL.
I love this.
Spent Friday night with the Roosters and with coach Trent Robinson.
Yeah, I think this is outstanding. I can't wait to talk to Horse about it, because I'd imagine throughout, and particularly in Sydney, up there in Sydney, he would have been immersed in this whole world of the rugby league and the other code as well. But to hear and find out, because it was fascinating to hear them both talk about the professionalism of the umpiring fraternity and how closely it was aligned to the professionalism of AFL clubs. And now to get the comparison between our code and the NRL's, it's sensational. It's probably something you wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
As a senior coach, you're probably a bit stressed and you can't do that. But I love seeing the codes cross over. So that'll be a great chat tomorrow.
We'll learn about it all then. All right, let's get into the agenda. One of the most enduring and admired figures of his generation has called time. Sam Dockerty will take his final curtain call for the Blues on Thursday night. It is a career marked by excellence and by endurance, a willingness to persist. And it's sparked a wave of emotion today within Carlton.
Crip. Sorry, mate, we don't get to share that moment together. We've been at this for a long time, man. And from crisis meeting walks on a Sunday to beers, and we've been having this solid goal for a very, very long time, man. And I love you. I hope you get what you deserve in footy, and I hope you get what you're chasing. But I want to thank you for everything you've given me.
I got the fairy tale end that I'm sort of looking for in the end. It's an opportunity to pull on the Guernsey one more time with my teammates, run out there with the kids. It's something to be pretty special on Thursday.
It'll be pretty special for Blues fans to show their sense of gratitude as well. A boy who grew up barracking for the Blues. He led them as captain. He'll play for them one more time. We do Tuesday favourites off the top, and this is the Sam Dockerty edition. Choose a moment.
Yeah, 2022 season, round one, been through hell and back from an emotional point of view and from the testicular cancer situation, and that's the coach of the opposition that's been moved to come across the ground, give him a hug and embrace him. Just great to be back, I'd imagine. There'd be heaps of things going through his mind, and then this is what you're hoping for, that you get one of those moments during the game where the whole Carlton team can just, I think, show just how much they love him and appreciate what he's been through, and to celebrate with him. That is genuine, raw, real emotion, Gerard, and that's symbolic with Sammy's career path, really. And it's going to be a great pleasure to have a chat with him in a minute.
2023 semi-final. And this is his whole career at large, I reckon. Dislocates his shoulder during the game against Melbourne, but never to be stopped by adversity. So I imagine strap it up, jab it up, get back out there and commit to the cause. And then he ends up being the central figure in an iconic play in Carlton history. And I remember the stands were shaking like I can rarely recall at the MCG. Brave as they come. Overhead mark with that shoulder hanging loose. Kick it to acres in the square.
I wasn't sharing quite the enthusiasm at this stage, Gerard. I was sitting out on the concourse watching this, right in amongst that group, trying to be the impartial, stoic commentator at that time. But Jacob Wiedering involved in that as well. I was going to play game 200 along with him on Thursday night. So how good.
Got halfway through that and realised my error just too late. Sam Dockerty has shared a lot with us on AFL 360, and so it is tonight as well. Sam, congratulations. We really appreciate having you with us. Welcome.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on. You're the last one of the day, so you've got me at my most fatigued.
How has the day been?
Oh, it's been amazing, to be honest. I've been through it. Obviously you've shared a bit of what the team meeting was like with the staff and the players, and then the press conference after that. I was lucky enough to have my wife and my kids here. We got some really nice family photos, and to be honest, it's just been nice, internally and externally, the celebration and love and everything that's been sent my way. It's been pretty overwhelming so far, and yeah, it's a weird feeling, I'll tell you that much. It's I'm really looking forward to sort of locking back into game mode for one more time, but yeah, the reflection of a long career and many years at the club and the ups and downs of it all, it's been a pretty crazy few days, and yeah, and a very emotional one today.
Congratulations, Sam. Every past player that has had to retire and do what you did today would have been watching the emotion come through and take you back to that time. And it's often a player, a face somewhere in the group as you're talking to them. In this instance, it was Paddy Cripps. And you talked about the amount of coffees and the crisis meetings and all that. That resonates with all of us. And that is the stuff that you will miss more than you know right now. And I'd imagine it was the impetus for the overwhelming emotion.
Yeah, I think that's the part of footy that is a bit underrated in so many aspects. There's what's produced out on the footy field, but the reality is most of our job's actually inside the footy club during the week. Nights on the piss. It's everything in between that is unseen by so many that you enjoy the most. What ends up on game day becomes some of the core memories because it's so critical in what is seen by everyone else. But yeah, the amount of work, and like Cripps one of a few that I broke down with in the team meeting, to be honest. But they've only showed one so far, so we'll see what else they pop out. But yeah, for him and me, it's been a long journey together. It's been I captained the club with him. He's one of my best mates. We've been here for such a long time. We've been driven to take this footy club back to the success that we wanted to give it, and unfortunately I don't get that, but I've said it a number of times today, I walk away pretty happy and fulfilled with everything else that's happened throughout my career.
So your story arc, Sam, is nothing like what a boy would imagine, I expect. You grew up barracking for Carlton, you're a first-round draft pick, you end up at Carlton in your second year, you win your best and fairest and you're All-Australian, and then life takes you on a wickedly difficult journey. How have you come to put it all together for what footy was going to be and what it all ends up being?
Yeah, that's been probably my biggest piece of reflection. I think most people would come into footy and the thought of playing 300 games and, I don't know, winning Brownlow medals and best and fairest and all Australians, that's kind of what takes your fancy when you first start. And I obviously got dealt a set of cards that were pretty difficult to play at times, and the reality is losing my dad sort of made all the personal accolades sort of make sense for me, but my cancer diagnosis kind of changed the goalposts in some ways about what I actually value in my career. And I'm nearly 32 years old, and my value is placed on the people and the relationships and the hope that I get to provide to people. As I said before, the day-to-day is what I've loved here, and the people that I've met. I've had thousands of teammates, 4 senior coaches, a number of other coaches in between that, and they're the memories that I take with me. That's all the stuff that I get to take into the next phase of my life, and all the lessons I've learned through all the adversity that I've faced. I feel privileged and lucky to have gone through that in some weird way, because I walk out with perspective, and I don't think that was the lesson I thought I was going to get when I came to footy, but that's what I've ended up with, and I'm very glad that I've got it. And for me, to be able to provide hope to people that are in tough situations, that's just something that's an added bonus. I, through my circumstances, have been left in a position that gets to do that, and I love it. I hang on to every message that I get. That I've inspired hope. I just saw a video from Noah from Perth, a little boy that had cancer when he was a kid, bawling his eyes out that I retired today. That's the stuff that sort of drives you, and that's what I got to do. And yeah, given the cards that I got dealt, I didn't get probably exactly what I wanted from a personal perspective, but in the end, that doesn't really matter. I got so much more.
At what point along the way, and you're still a young man when you go through this, do you become comfortable that you're symbolic of something else? So there is football excellence, but you're symbolic of something bigger and something that you never would have set out to be.
Yeah, I think going through chemo was a really big moment for me, obviously, and the Do It for Doc campaign that the club ran, and then obviously coming back in that game, round one, after sort of 3 months of prepping for a game, and having that moment kind of transcended everything that I thought football was, and so honestly, I've just lent into that, and it's been such an enjoyable experience. It's given me so much purpose about what I do and what I am as a person, and I've ended up at Peter Mac Foundation on the board because of it. It's something pretty special that I get to hold close to my heart. That is about footy, but it's about life. It's about something that's bigger than me and every part of footy, which, yeah, as I said, I hold close to my heart. It doesn't sort of take away from my footballing stuff and the personal achievement as well, but it's something that I hold very dearly to me.
Your greatest achievement we just saw then, your wife Nat and your 2 children. As you say, you lost your father at a time. I wasn't aware of that. And then the nature of your cancer, the notion of fatherhood must have been, a difficult one to try and get your head around as well, whether or not you can and you can't. That's the end of it all there, right there, Sam. You walk out in front of the footy media. We'll farewell you on Thursday night from what we do our stuff in, but just seeing you there with your girls and your wife, that's your greatest achievement.
Yeah, it is, and that's kind of part of the end of my presser today is I've had many purposes that are in footy. My purpose now is my family. It's we as footballers live such selfish lives, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just the industry and what's required to be a high-level performer to stay in the industry for a long period of time, but sometimes that means that the sacrifices are at home, and I'm looking forward to being able to just be a dad, be a husband, spend some time at home, spend some time to relax and enjoy what it's like to, I don't know, have a little bit less stress on the plate and go and enjoy a wine on a Wednesday night, go have dinner on Friday and not worry about the game on Sunday. It's kind of the little things that I'm looking forward to now. Doesn't take away, as I said, I cherish every game I've ever played for Carlton, and to be able to play one more on Thursday night with my teammates, with all of the love that's been with it, plus one of my best mates' 200th games. It seems like the right time, and it seems like it's going to be a special night.
It'll be special, all right. Enjoy it, Sam. Thanks for sharing it with us tonight.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good on you. Sam Dockerty, who's been part of the 360 family for a good few years now, so that's going to be an emotion-charged night.
It's the greatest change of your life that he will get, and he's got such balance and much more of life experiences than I had when I retired or others. But all of a sudden, your reason and your planning and your diary, and you need this and that, what you eat, what you drink, like he just said, that realisation is overwhelming. You go, oh yeah, I can have a beer. I can go out on Friday. I can do, the weekend I can take off. For the first time in his adult life, he's free of that. And it's liberating, Gerard. It is. Once you make peace with your footy career being over, it is a liberating feeling.
All power to him.
Yep.
It was inconceivable that Marcus Bontempelli would be anywhere other than the Western Bulldogs, and while it has dragged on to before round 20, the new contract is done. 4 more years to further his legacy at Whitten Oval.
What does the club mean to you?
It means so much, and it's hard to sort of put it into a few words, to be honest. Like, it's really where I've grown as a man. It's where I've spent really the most, all of my adult years, coming here at 18. So a lot of, I guess, who I am today is, obviously a big part of my family and my upbringing, but especially when I think about the person I've sort of want to become, it's been influenced by the people I've spent a lot of time with, and that's here at the football club. For me, it's so special. The fans, the people that have supported me along the way. I've never not felt supported by our people here at the Bulldogs, and that's a really important thing that I know a lot of people don't get to experience. So I feel incredibly lucky to have had that for so long.
I doubt it's the last contract he'll have at the Western Bulldogs either. It's a hefty 7 figures reflective of his status within the game and at the club. Now, when you've got all-time greatness in your midst, Gaz, and I do think for the Bulldogs this has them on the clock, and it has done for a little while, and there's a realisation of that. Is he going to be a premiership captain at the Dogs is the biggest question that sits over this contract.
So I had a bit of a look at it. There's 12 names that you'd lock away as saying are capable of being premiership players. 3 of them are A+. There's 2 A's. There's 5 B's. There's Treloar and Waitman who are in the injured car. And then you've got Jordan Croft, Cooper Hines, Sanders I put in there, and Bustling are high investment kids, so they need to come on. One of them, the worry is of all that group, there's 2 defenders, which is Rory Lobb I've got in there as a B, and then an A in Bailey Dale. So that's the rebuild. We know that. Everyone's talked about it. I'm sure Bevo knows about it. Can Jordan Croft become that player? Maybe can Bustlinger go and become the player they hope he's going to be? And if they do develop in the manner that you'd hope they do when you take him as a really early first rounder, then, yeah, he'll get another look at it, because they got Darcy and they got Richards. They got Libba and they got Dale and they've got Fraser and Norton, and so... And they got Bont. That's the thing. So it is exciting for them. And he would have sacrificed hundreds of thousands of dollars to stay, but he was never going anywhere.
No, there's Bont in his prime, isn't it? So this is 29. This takes him to 33. So whatever happens after that, these are the prime. These are the last prime years. So his CV and his legacy is in sharp focus at the moment. Last night, Ted Whitten retained the mantle as the #1 Bulldog. And these are nights for historic nods, not for recency bias. So that was fitting. There'll be a time at the 150th celebrations when Bontempelli's body of work is finished, and then you'll be able to put them up side by side. But I like what they did last night.
Yeah, and that list, I mean, I read the criteria. The list was your contribution to the club as well, which may, Chris Grant up there, we had the debate today on radio, like everyone did, where was Scotty West? It's a great debate. They're all greats. And that is a great shot.
That's a lovely
Gary Dempsey, Brownlow medalist, and Dougie Hawker. This is the royalty. So, yeah, Bont will contribute, I'm sure, beyond... Well, probably, let's say, hope he does, and he may coach one day, who knows? Like Ted, EJ did, and then Ted was the biggest figure in footy. So that's still to play out for Marcus. But she's a pretty good 5.
Yeah. It's a decorated centenary, isn't it?
It's awesome.
All right. Our furnace, Gaz, came from our 2 coaches last night. There's a lot in play at footy right now, and they were wholeheartedly engaged. Mix it, Swanee.
You've been given a flick, Jeff.
Yeah. If Greg's one rang you and asked you about the sub, are you a yes or a no on the sub?
No, get rid of it. Horrible.
Same.
The game length, can that be tidied up?
Easily. I think the game's too long, full stop. I think they should shorten the actual quarter length. But the score reviews, the umpires waiting for the ruckman to get to a stoppage is a complete nonsense.
Throw it up all the time? Are you a bounce guy or not a bounce guy?
I like to bounce, but no recalls.
But why?
Because I think variability is one of the great parts of our game.
But it's not that variable. If it goes 4 metres outside the circle, they recall.
They shouldn't have recall.
No bounce. No father-son either while we're at it.
You're not serious on that?
I sort of am. I think all these things are romantic ideas.
The thing I would like, as far as the safety element, I think it should be more incumbent on the player who's trying to get hurt, that he is disincentivised to do that. That would be something I would lead
Free kick
towards.
against for leading with your head would be a great result. Stephen May, where do you sit on that?
If I were the MRO, I wouldn't have put it up.
At all?
No. No.
A football accident?
Yep.
I don't think he was trying to hurt him. So I think intent should be taken into account with the MRO more than outcome.
If he's talking to the umpire saying, look at the score, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
He was looking at it for his own curiosity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad free kick. Oh.
Roof in Tasmania. You've played in some wicked games.
Let's just keep Hawthorn in Tassie playing games.
They were in very good form last night.
They were in good form, and they're throwing their weight behind a few issues,
Yeah.
and it's size of a hefty weight.
All right, play a bit of real or overreaction. The father's son is under siege.
Overreaction, but when Chris Scott throws his name and starts suggesting of it, then the siege mentality can be felt by some, but it'll survive because the overwhelming notion is we love the romance about it. St Kilda are up against it. Freo, we know, have spoken out against it. Chris Scott will have been called into the office today. Not that you call Chris Scott in office, but that's overreaction. The Wizard and Jack are on notice.
This was so intriguing, wasn't it? So this is real. Is Sam unprompted raised the issue of the players trying to draw the high free kick?
Yeah.
And the dangerous scenario that is. And they have two of the chief protagonists of this manoeuvre.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about there. In that instance there, that the free kick should be paid to Ryan because you instigated by dropping your head. That one not as dangerous, if you like. It's the one where you sort of drive in.
Yep.
And then in the end, if the player who's driving in gets really badly hurt, then we've got a problem with the game and it's avoidable.
The sub rule will be gone in 2026.
I'm saying real. The coaches were both resolute last night. Chris Fagan's resolute. Greg Swan talks to Chris Fagan.
Yeah,
and
Brad Scott today.
Brad Scott.
I think it's unanimous.
Yeah, I think, well, it is, but we'll see how it goes. 3 minutes can easily be clipped from the game.
Oh, I'm treading on your path here. This is real.
Simple.
Nip and tuck.
Easy.
Start it from this weekend and just see where it gets to, and then do the deep project. The dead time in the game is... It's never been addressed.
Yep.
So just let's get on with addressing it.
Yeah, so all this is nominating two others that aren't there to say, listen, we're throwing this here or up. One of you have got to go up, and that means if it's Tom Stewart and someone else, they put their hand up and away they go. It's not that hard, Gerard. It's so stupidly easy to put in place. And here they come. They're like on a Sunday stroll. Yeah. So that's easy. That's a dead set easy.
So that vision will have been shown, or various pieces of vision shown to umpires, and get on with it.
Yep.
We should keep the bounce. No recalls.
Overreaction. Just, I know Sam stumped up for but then once it goes, it goes. You can't have just one bloke saying, let's do umpire training and don't forget you've got to start the game. So you go, no. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I think that's almost unanimous as well. Stephen May needs our coaches tomorrow.
Overreaction only insofar as it's all on Stephen May.
Right.
This is a case that the prosecution will be made, but I don't think they're trying to nail him to the wall. Mm-hmm. Explain what he did in every moment, match it up with a vision, be honest and I think there's a way to defend this.
I think he's being coached at the moment.
Only to a degree. I hope he's able just to watch himself and step it through every step of the way.
He does present really well, so it'll be an intriguing case tomorrow. And I think the whole footy world just sitting back and waiting to see how it plays out.
Yep, we'll all be the wiser one way or another. Our current day players are about to join us. Travis Boak and Toby Greene. Trav, his place in the game rises with every passing game at the moment, and Toby's trying to tune his Giants up for the title run. The intense modern rivalries that have been added to the AFL all get played out in no love lost rounds. The Sydney Derby on Friday night gives way to the most important cute clash yet. As the Suns try to stack up to the Lions, the Western Derby is standalone. It's grim times for the Eagles, but if ever they could get a rise, and the Showdown never fails to deliver a true showpiece of the national game. And one of ours There's more experience than any other in it. Our players, thanks to video messaging platform Swish. Travis Boak, it's going to be showdown number 33. Trav, great to have you with us.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
And Toby Greene, welcome aboard.
Hey, lads. Hope you're well.
Trav, have you dried out? Have you warmed up from the Launceston experience?
Yeah, well, I think we brought the weather back to Adelaide because it's been horrible today, but that was probably the worst conditions I've played in 19 years. The third quarter alone was, that when the rain started coming down, you could hardly see across the other side of the ground, and it was freezing cold and 40 to 50k winds.
And the wind from the boundary throw-in that they flung over his head and it went 25 metres one way. I mean, that's when you're sitting at home going, geez, there's something going on in that game. From a actual kicking and disposal point of view, there was a goal at one stage that went through that nearly came back out the goals. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was ridiculous at stages. When it got caught on that far side of the ground where the wind was sort of pushing over that stand, you kind of were just standing there hoping that a player would kick it out in the full to try and get a cheap free kick because it was just blowing that far. And, going into that breeze was a real challenge. But I think the first goal of the game was a snap from the pocket where it was, I thought, impossible to kick a goal from, and somehow snagged it. But, it was rough conditions to play in.
Just give us the national picture here. So this round has all four of the modern-day rivalries that have been bolted onto the old Victorian competition. Do we value them enough, Toby? Do you reckon we value them enough on the national landscape?
Oh, it's hard to say. Personally, I love sitting down and watching the showdown. Like, that's one of the great games on the calendar. You know, the Western Derby probably loses a bit at the moment, just given where West Coast are at. But, you know, when they're up and going, I'm sure it's humming over there. And I feel like what we've built with the Swans as well is a really strong rivalry, and been some great games over the years. And you know, just as would have it, we've played them a fair few times in finals. So, it's a genuine rivalry, and, you know, all those games are great to sit down and watch. So, it would have been nice to, watch that showdown Thursday night and then have us Friday night, but it is what it is. I'm sure the AFL have their reasons.
What would it take for the AFL to trust the showdown, Trav? Because it delivers over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, look, we've been trying for a long period of time to get, a standalone Friday night or a Thursday night game, because it has been a showpiece for the AFL for a long period of time now, and it's only growing. There's definitely been a lot of push from both clubs to really get it, up in the lights, because it does provide a lot of entertainment for not only now South Australia, but I think, as Toby said, a lot of footy fans in general love to watch it.
I feel like you're being diplomatic, Toby, and fair enough. I don't want to get you into trouble. You've had a few fines across the journey, but are you disappointed that this is not just you and the Swans? I mean, it is a standalone game, and they've made a meal of this back half of the fixture in the AFL. There's no question about that with the Bombers, because they're there for the reasons we know. But, I mean, would have been nice to get 740 Giants and the Swans. Gerard will pay your fine. Away you go.
Well, it would have been. I actually thought it was until someone told me at the press conference the other day. So that caught me by surprise. I certainly thought we'd done enough work over the previous 5 years, I guess, to build the rivalry. And as Trav said, we've been working hard to try and do that as well, and it's something we really want. But we'll just, if we see him again in finals, that's the only time we get him, it seems.
Well, it's going to be a super night. We'll look forward to keeping a close eye on it. Trav, will this be your last one? I'm going to hit you right between the eyes, because you're about to become the 7th most games played in the history of our game. It puts you into rare air, and there are a few more decorated and a few more respected players in my time of watching. But will this be the last one, and when do you get your head around that, given that the coaches go and the relationship, all the questions that are going to be asked of you because you've been around long enough?
Yeah, sorry guys, I don't have an announcement for you tonight.
No, fair enough.
But there's definitely been those conversations, and I've had those conversations for probably the last 2 or 3 years, and they've been around, am I still of value to the side? Am I still in good enough form to play? Am I holding anyone back? And this year's obviously been even more challenging again with some injuries. We're going in a new direction next year with Kenny not being there, and also now the challenge of not playing finals. What does that look like? So I'm having those discussions now. My body actually feels a lot better now than it did at the start of the year, so I'm still really enjoying playing footy. And my focus is still to provide as much as I can for this team and be the best teammate I can. And I still want to win every game for this back half of the year, and that's kind of my focus now. And if this is my last showdown, I'll definitely enjoy it.
That's a great answer. You got a glowing endorsement. I don't know if you were watching last night. Did he say that on air?
He said it off air.
Oh,
but
am I breaking confidence?
No.
Sam Mitchell said that without Connor Rozee, that they scouted, or he did personally scouted your stuff over the past few weeks even more than he would have, and he spoke glowingly of your ability to play and cover ground, and so take that into account when you're sitting down and having a think about things. So it was really high praise, and I hope I don't think Sam would mind us saying that.
No, well, thanks, Mitch. I appreciate that. But, it's my body does still feel good enough to cover the ground. And one thing I did notice from the game on the weekend is the contest stuff is now starting to get a lot more of a challenge, that's for sure. And I pulled up a lot sore from that game. But hopefully there's no more of those games.
You've had great milestones along the way to appreciate, I guess, the longevity. But to join Robert Harvey and to go past him, if everything goes well in the following week, is to be in the top 7 all time. Do you have a grasp on what that means?
It's honestly crazy to think about. Like, I grew up as a massive footy fan. Robert Harvey was an icon of the game and has been an icon of the game. And I remember playing on him at times, and I was only just talking about him actually the other day about coming to a stoppage, and Robert Harvey was sort of leaning over and he was just gasping for breath, and you thought this guy's absolutely gassed, but that was part of his process of getting himself set for a stoppage, and then now I'm equaling him in games is crazy to think about, and I'm just really honoured to be able to play for this long, and footy's a big part of my life and my family's life, and I've been very lucky to continue on for so long.
Good on you, mate. Enjoy what comes on Saturday night. So, Toby, have you done the ladder predictor? Are you into that sort of stuff or not?
I haven't done it. Have you got us in, mate? We got to win our next 2 for any chance of making top 4, and then we got to probably win 4 or 5 or. I don't think 3 will get us into finals. So I know what we got to do. But if we can beat Swans and Dogs, that'll go a long way to helping make sure we're there.
You feel like you're close to playing the sort of the best version of yourselves? I mean, your record in recent times has been really strong.
Yeah, we've been good the last 6 weeks, but we know what's coming up now. This is where it counts. We'll get judged on the next 2 weeks, I think, and that'll show where we're at. If we can beat both these teams who are in really good form, then you start to believe a little bit and think you're good enough. So, really looking forward to it. There's some huge games coming up.
Do you feel like your best has you right in it, Toby?
Yeah, definitely. But as I've said, we got the Dogs, Swans and Gold Coast in our last 5. So I guess you get to test yourself against those really good teams and hopefully go into finals in the right manner. But I think if we can really nail those games, then, I've got every belief that we can do damage in finals.
Who will you get on the weekend? Do you get the Lizard? Do you give him a little clip on the way through? Who do you generally get?
No, I'll get Ramps. He's got me the last few times, so I need to turn that around. I'm well aware, so I'll be looking forward to trying impact on Friday.
What is it about him that has given you a couple of little headaches, Dane Rampy?
He's a good defender, has been for a long time. So he plays the game in the right manner. He's physical. There's no love lost between us on game day, so it's a good battle. And as I said, he's got me the last few times, so I need to try and turn that around.
All right, let's get the contemporary view out on the field. Trav, have you looked at the Stephen May incident? What do you think when you look at it?
Yeah, well, in my view, it's a footy, footy act in terms of he looked like he had a play on the ball. He went for the ball, and the last minute, his decision is to, oh no, I can't get the ball, and sort of brace, and that's sort of where the impacts come from. So I don't think there is much he can do here. Like he literally has a play on the ball until the very last second. He has to make a split decision. almost to protect himself. And unfortunately, Frankie gets hit in the head, and the outcome looks really bad. There's a lot of blood and concussion, and we don't want to see that. But it's a decision that's made right at the very last second, so I'm not sure what else he could have done.
Toby?
Yeah, I'm similar, boys. It's as Trev said, it's just that split second one. There's not much you can do, but I worry for him. He could easily get 3 or 4 weeks suspension. It's just there's going to be those incidents 3 or 4 a year for the rest of time. It's just that's the way the game is, and I guess there's probably been 1 or 2 similar ones in recent memory. The Alex Pearce one, so it kind of sets a precedent depending on how it goes.
Are either of you aware of, there's the Alex Pearce one you're talking about, aware of what you can and can't say to an umpire to maybe protest a decision? Will you be pointing at the scoreboard at any stage on the weekend? Are you clear in your mind what dissent is and what it isn't?
Toby, you go first.
I saw the Freo one that you're talking about. That was stiff. I don't think they've paid them all year, and I don't think they'll pay him again. So I reckon he can go ahead and do that again this weekend. And
I don't reckon he will.
No, I know we know what you can and can't say to an umpire, and you can't abuse them or be demonstrative. But I don't think that was the case for that game.
Trav?
Yeah, I would say stiff is an understatement with that one. I think he's kind of just reacted to the scoreboard in some way, and I don't think there's any demonstrative abuse at all towards the umpire. So, yeah, he was a bit stiff. But I think in games too, we want to have conversations with umpires. We want some clarity on things, and we want to have that two-way conversation. At times, I feel like you're a bit scared to because you don't know if you're going to give away a free kick. And obviously, we know there's the abuse there, and you're not going to swear at an umpire and things like that. But the conversations between umpires and players still needs to be had to get clarity on certain things.
Great to have you both with us. Yep. Enjoy your local rivalries. They'll be spectacular, I'm sure. Go well.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you, lads.
Go on, you boys.
Toby Greene and Travis Boak with us on Players' Night here on 360. Ray Chamberlain's about to join us, Razor's Edge. The origin of dissent, where we found the happy medium, and where we find ourselves now.
You need to calm down. We don't talk to one another like that. Look at me. You know what to see.
Pat Norovitz comes to mind. Swanee said they're doing a great job, which might be true in the overall, but there are singular moments, differing decisions. The Phantom trip. Oh, didn't we scout that the turf's no good at that end of the SCG? And dissent. That's where we were, and that's where we got to. How did we get there? This is why we have Razor's Edge.
Perfect. It couldn't have handpicked our guest any more perfect than we have today.
Ray Chamberlain, welcome.
Gentlemen, how are we?
Hey, Ray. From the dissent issue, I just want to make a confession, and this is I'm serious about this. I was a serial abuser of umpires for a long time, and then it was a pathetic weakness on my behalf. It really was. It was to cover up mistakes that I'd made, and I would abuse an umpire. And so I just want to put that on the record. I was one of the worst until I learnt. So let's carry on.
Thank you, Gary.
I'll abuse you in a minute.
I was going to say, I might get 5 minutes respite here. Let's go.
The difference between abuse and dissent is critical here. Abuse, I think everyone understands, and the players you cannot swear at an umpire. That's abuse. We're in the dissent age of 2022.
Yeah, so we arrive at that place and there's a lot going on with umpiring and numbers at community level and an array of behaviours that the AFL, I think, more broadly weren't comfortable with seeing. And so from the top down, it wasn't an umpire-driven request. The demonstrative stuff, the ridicule, the point at the scoreboard, the mocking, I think that sort of wasn't a look that the game was wrapped with.
Demeaning and belittling.
Yeah, and so I just jotted down some bits and pieces to give people an idea at home. What are the sorts of behaviours that the umpires would pay a 50 or a free kick for dissent versus the ones that where they won't pay a free kick for dissent. And I think that's really important to understand. What are the times where they won't pay? Yeah. So the times that they won't pay are things like when it's miles behind play. So it might be a shot on goal up the other end, Gary, and you and I are down the other end. Yep. You see the replay and you point up at it and you're like, Ray, that can't be a free.
But that's you engaging in a conversation.
Correct.
Off the ball.
Where no one's looking. It's not being ridiculed at home. And then you've got, if they regulate their behaviour, so they're about to go, they start up, but they grab themselves. You go, no, that's cool. It's an emotive game. You've articulated that yourself. And then the other thing that's really important, it can't be an accumulation of things. It either meets the threshold in that incident or it doesn't. You can't go, this guy's been driving me mad all day, bang, off we go. That's no good. And then the last one is really important, appealing for a free kick. So ball gets kicked, we think insufficient intent, we think deliberate rush behind, and they turn around and appeal for a free kick. You're not awarding a free kick for dissent in those circumstances.
No.
So they're the times that it doesn't count. And the examples that we've rolled through and we've seen this week so far are examples where, from 2022, Gerard, we come to Christmas in July in 2025 and it's elf on the shelf stuff and we dust it off and now we roll it out, which is obviously the thing that causes people grief.
And that is the frustration of what we've been involved in. So where does it sit right now? What is dissent and what's not? We ask the players. So if Carl Warner this week says, oh, come on, I didn't really hit him or I didn't really get him high like this, do we expect as a commentariat and a supporter to go, oh, well, that's just 50. You've been told.
So we heard Greg Swan speak, and obviously his commentary was, if you point at the scoreboard of the replay, you'll incur a free kick against you for dissent. So that's what we need the umpires to deliver on across 9 games. All weekend,
so
every game.
Zero tolerance, that's not demonstrative, that's not belittling, it's not demeaning, but that's it, zero tolerance.
The issue they've got with that one in particular, and Gary, for what it's worth, I'm aligned with you in these issues, on this particular issue. The issue the AFL has with that is the pointing and the reference to the scoreboard. They hate it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Let me say this. If that's the rule, that's the rule, right? And it was back when you were still umpiring, when Brad Scott brought this in, everyone knew. And there was outcry, but we said, no, for all the reasons you pointed out, they were losing umpires and it was filtering down. So, OK, with zero tolerance, at least we know. Now, I'm not sure what to send. We showed you those examples last night. This one's paid, the other one, they're jumping up and running at the umpire.
I'm not going to give the umpires an out because I'm aligned with you. The two things I would say is this. It's not just about the umpiring, it's about the broader game itself. So, dissent...
Yes. What are these? Are these free kicks or not?
So, so that one there, absolutely it is. He goes at him, he's walking towards him, he's got his arms out and he's having a crack. See this one here? I want to talk... That's what I was going with the last comment. When you award a free kick or a mark, there's lots...
Before you do, this one.
Yeah, so this one should be paid. Arms out, approaching, getting in his face, disputing decision, that's cut and dry. If we go back to the Bolton one just quickly, so you pay for a kick, you're coming in, you go, where's the footy? That's the first thing you look for as an umpire. You're not looking at the fella on the mark who may or may not be aggrieved. You're not interested in that because you need to know whether to call play on or advantage or all those things. So the umpire also has to see it.
But so your mate can see it.
Depends where they are too.
Oh, because come on, there's 4 of them.
Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah. So that's the only thing that I want to say about that one there is that it's not quite as obvious as you might think.
No, but you'd think so. One other.
But if you do see that and they're pointing at the replay, if that's what he's doing, they're meant to pay a 50.
OK, so just take us to the weekend. That's all I care about. I've got a call Friday night.
Yeah, so can I just say, would you have paid a 50-metre penalty against
Carl?
So this is the great thing. I don't think that's worth a 50-metre penalty, and I think the intention around what they're doing. If he goes up like that with a fierce point, he goes, "What about that?"
Yeah.
You go, mate, back here. It was almost like he was like, "I'm not even bothering arguing with this," which is not dissent, is it? It's actually going, "I'm just going to get on with it." So I felt like that stood out as an aberration as opposed to the rule.
Yeah. So I feel like are there 40 umpires?
Sorry,
are there 40 umpires?
42. Yeah.
I feel like 38 of them would not have paid it and 4 of them would have. And that's where I think the hard part is. I don't think that meets the dissent threshold.
No, but then we've had Greg Swan, God love him, who's come out and says, you know you can't do it, don't do it or you'll get a 50.
So it's like crossing the road and not looking, Gary. You hope they don't run into you, mate. But if you don't, you know what I mean? So you're responsible for your actions. Don't put yourself in a position where you can cough one up. Now, I'm with you. I'm not going to let you jump on me on this. I'm aligned with you on this.
But I'm feeling for the players. So he's going... Carl Warner can turn around and say, if that was Shea Bolton or... You know, we could have got 3 or 4, 5, 6 others. He turned around... stop the game and say, why? I've been watching footy. 6, 7, 8 you haven't paid.
We agree.
Today you're going to pay it. That's what the hard thing is.
Well, I agree with you, and I spoke to you earlier off air. You know, I made a phone call earlier in the year to the umpiring department. I said, has there been a shift here? And was adamant, no, we have not. And I said, well,
about
that's
dissent.
Yeah, and the application of it and the implementation, because you see these examples continuously, and I was told, no change. And I'm saying, well, how are you going with the coaching and assessment of that? So I'm in alignment with you.
So we're just got to guess, I think, still.
Yeah, and where that threshold is. Can I just ask you about the two play-ons or
Love
not
this
play-ons?
one, yes.
So Luke Jackson first, shapes to hand pass. Is this play-on or not?
It is. And so Luke Jackson, when his step is forward of the mark, that's where he gets cooked. Your question's a really good one. If he'd retreated back from the mark and then took a step forward, that's not play on. You have to go ahead of the mark. So you see he stands up and he goes forward of the mark. That's play on. That's actually a particularly accurate and excellent call.
And then minutes later at Adelaide Oval, what about the Murray one?
And this one is an error from our umpire. So he plays on, he goes forward of the mark and lateral in an attempt to dispose of the football to his teammate. You play on from a mark, it's a prior opportunity. He's legally tackled. He fails to handball or kick. We need holding the ball paid there, not 50. Yeah.
Beauty.
So he did play on here.
Yes, he plays on for sure and tries to handball inboard to his teammate. So play on is when you go off your line of kick or ahead of the mark. Yeah.
Beauty. Terrific.
Very much.
Thanks for having
Ray
us.
Chamberlain, see you next Tuesday. Tomorrow night, our key pair, our favourites. John Monroy and Adam Simpson, who have lived so much together in their journey. They'll be with us to make us smarter tomorrow night.
Anybody loving music up in your town. Know it when they hear the champion sound. Love it when they hear the champion sound. Need it when they hear the champion. Watch out.
Tomorrow night, all kick-off day. AFL 360 with Gerard and Robbo from 6:30.
He's gotten an election update. Zeets, what's happened?
So as you can see here, Gary Lyons. Now, Gary Lyons, the Liberals are winning that seat at the moment.
If you press the square, does it open up like in the American coverage?
You smell good too. What are you wearing tonight?
No idea.
Just natural scent.
Just natural. Come on, Vossi, give us a smile, mate. We've waited a while for this one.
It's on the inside, Kingy. It's on the inside. Nah, the Shiraz just tastes a little bit better, that's all. So,
Cat's bought some good stuff from Margaret River. We'll be there in an hour.
See you soon. I'll flick through the text and we'll catch up.
It could get awkward if he flicks his address through. We've got to go.
Yeah, where am I going to get Margaret River?
I don't know. Straight ahead.
I can't do it. I'm too old. I'm too old.
Every good side I've been a part of gets a kick in the nuts at some stage. Today was our kick in the nuts.
Oh, yes.
That's commitment level. He's going to get double time and a half, surely.
I say it's days like today when the good players really come to the fore and show their skills. From the out, against the breeze, against the rain, under Connor McDonald. That is magnificent.
He's such a good kick.
You pumped him up, Gene. Love to get good connection on this, and that is not the definition of good connection.
That is one of the best Mozzers ever, Hutto. Right.
Thanks.
No! Shocker, straight to Bontempelli. Good finish there. All right, midweek tackle in a moment. The Ashley and Martin turning point, Gaz, is eyes towards Gold Coast at the moment. Daniel Rioli had surgery today. It's a broken leg. It's 4 to 6 weeks, so the best chance really is the first week of the finals. Tuke Miller's still missing. They've got to put the final touch on their first finals appearance still.
A little curveball in amongst this, because I think his leadership in that back half is as important as any. Tuke Miller not there. That loads a bit of pressure up on the Gold Coast Suns, who we all thought were across the line. The mildly amusing moments, that's not one of them. I think you're going to feature next week. I don't want to get back over it, Gerard.
I'm going to wear that for a while.
I'll just say I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Rather than what you said.
That's enough. Thank you.